It's time for media meltdowns, and the leftist media is losing it over Secretary of War Pete Hegseth's DEI crackdown and push for fitness standards to return to the military.
Why is he obsessed with fat?
Yeah, and fitness and...
Yeah, Joy can't work out why troops should be at their peak physical fitness level, and neither can The View's Sunny Hostin, who argues it's totally bizarre that there should be high standards.
It also didn't make a lot of sense to me that he was saying that he was going to toughen physical standards and review the anti-hazing policy by sort of implementing a hazing policy. And then also he said he was going to return to the highest male standard for combat positions because the troops were fat.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that was supposed to be an uplifting message for our military.
And what about the woke hosts on MSNBC? According to them, bringing back merit to the military must mean there's no room for different races.
Individuals who are supposed to be leadership are using this kind of language. I call that the meritocracy myth, and it feels as though that myth of meritocracy, this idea that the women and the people of color, the LGBTQ folks, they are all there because of some help or some preference. That idea is a lie, but it feels as like it's a lie that they feel like Hegseth especially has to tell, because then they can twist the narrative, they can twist the truth, he can hide excellence. It gives cover for his own mediocrity because he is unqualified to be there.
They also had that line, he had that line about diversity isn't our strength, unity is our strength, which made me wonder whether or not there is room for diverse opinions, diverse races, religions, in his sense of unity.
Joining us now is media strategist for Maha PAC, Caitlin Sinclair. Caitlin, it's great to see you again. I mean, are we even surprised that hosts on The View and MSNBC have an issue with fit troops?
No, Gabriella, I don't think this meltdown was a surprise. God forbid our military should be fit here in the United States. What I think we should point out is the stark contrast between these meltdowns. Our Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, said he doesn't want any more overweight or fat soldiers, the ones that are protecting our country. No more dudes in skirts in the military. Meanwhile, our former president, Joe Biden, left $7 billion in military equipment to the Taliban and got 13 American soldiers killed withdrawing for Afghanistan. And which one did the media and our lovely Joe Behar get more angry about? Again, a very stark contrast there.
Yeah, it says so much, doesn't it? Let's just look at the announcement by Secretary of War Pete Hegseth saying that all combat personnel would be required to meet the highest male standard in order to maintain their positions.
It's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon. So whether you're an airborne ranger or a chairborne ranger, a brand new private or a four-star general, you need to meet the height and weight standards and pass your PT test.
Yeah, Caitlin, it says so much that Liberals are offended by what Pete Hegseth had to say. But I want to talk to you about Maha. There was a classic Donald Trump moment in the White House this week when RFK Jr. sneezed. Let's take a look at this.
They couldn't test it. God bless you, Bobby. I hope I didn't catch COVID just there. Don't you have Paxlovid? What is it? He's got Paxlovid. Give me a Paxlovid immediately.
And he was saying that to the CEO of Pfizer. But also this week, Caitlin, Donald Trump signed an executive order aimed at improving ways to identify and treat pediatric cancers using AI. And so the use of AI will also be to identify new cures. And in signing this order, the US is adding another $50 million to the Childhood Cancer Data Initiative. Is that right?
Yes, that's absolutely right. So there's a lot that's going into this initiative. This president is a man that wants to get answers to the mama bears of this country that have been requesting those answers for their kids, their pediatric kids that have been suffering so badly with cancer. And we're trying to use this technology of AI to our benefit. That's what our president wants to do. And just to paint a picture for your viewers, this president was in the Oval Office signing an executive order to unleash cures, hopefully, for pediatric cancer. And Democrats were busy shutting down the government, Gabriella, over their demand that illegals get health care. So another stark contrast, just to paint a picture. The difference couldn't be more stark. They have to make sure that, of course, their future voters get health care, but the American people that have been screaming and demanding answers for decades are still suffering.
Yeah, it's a great point. Now, YouTube is going to be paying more than $24 million to settle a lawsuit brought by Donald Trump over the company's decision to suspend his account back in 2021. Now, this comes after YouTube said that it would be reinstating accounts that were banned, partly due to the content that was covered on topics such as COVID-19, the 2020 election, and also those accounts were suspended partly due to pressure from the Biden administration. Now, Caitlin, this payout, I guess, is another victory, but it's also a reminder of just how insane that time was, where Donald Trump was banned from, or he was suspended from YouTube, he was banned from Twitter. YouTubers were suspended if they didn't follow this strict COVID-19 narrative that was being put out by mainstream media outlets. And we've also heard from Meta just earlier this year that the Biden administration made them censor content. What do you make of this?
Yeah, I think part of the conversation that's missing right now that I'd love to bring in, that I think my generation is picking up on, is these people didn't just wake up one day, Gabriella, and realize they have a conscience and realize they actually want to be honest people. It's because the culture has shifted.
Yeah.
Being conservative is no longer considered, quote, dangerous. It's now in. Being MAGA isn't fringe anymore. It's accepted. So the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world, the Googles and the Instagrams and the YouTubes of the world, they wanted to rewrite history. And now they're just playing and coming up out of nowhere saying, oops, my bad. No, it doesn't work like that, Gabriella. Where was their grace when it actually mattered? Because so many of us conservatives, we were actually censored and canceled for telling the truth back then. So I don't think the American people appreciate them coming out of nowhere saying, my bad, won't happen again. Where's the real accountability? Because again, real people paid real prices for telling the truth when it was actually hard. This is the easy way out, in my opinion.
Couldn't agree with you more. Now, JD Vance was in the White House today reminding Liberals how to take a joke.
Posting some images of Leader Jeffries and Senator Schumer recently. You've said that you're interested in good faith negotiations with these leaders, but what message does that send? Is it helpful to post pictures of Leader Jeffries in a sombrero if you're trying to have good faith talks with him?
Oh, I think it's funny. The president's joking, and we're having a good time. You can negotiate in good faith while also poking a little bit of fun at some of the absurdities of the Democrats' positions, and even, poking some fun at the absurdity of the Democrats themselves. I mean, I'll tell Hakeem Jeffries right now, I make this solemn promise to you that if you help us reopen the government, the sombrero memes will stop. And I've talked to the President of the United States about that.
Caitlin, I love seeing it. Some reporters are still just so triggered by what this administration is doing, which includes having a laugh and posting memes.
Yeah, that's right. And the fact that memes trigger the left more than open borders, collapsing economies, collapsing families, really shows their weakness there. I would love to ask that reporter, I don't know his name, was it at all helpful, to use his words, when the Democrats and the left were calling conservatives deplorables, calling Trump Hitler, because these are just silly sombrero memes, but they were calling Trump and his supporters fascists and Nazis. So this is pretty tame in comparison. I don't know.
And they still are. That language has not dialed down at all. Now, Erica Kirk, the widow of the incredible Charlie Kirk, of course, the new CEO of Turning Point USA, has been featured in Time magazine's list of the world's most influential rising stars. Now, she's been commended for her message of forgiveness and love following the assassination of her husband, and she is absolutely incredible. Times wrote, few would have faulted Erica Kirk if she had stood before tens of thousands at her husband's memorial and demanded retribution. Instead, 11 days after Charlie Kirk was assassinated while speaking at a university, his 36-year-old widow offered something rare in today's politics: forgiveness. Caitlin, can I get your reaction to this?
Oh, yes. Knowing Erica personally, so many of my former colleagues, again, so strong in their faith. Gabrielle, I know we've spoken about this before. And I can share with your viewers that I struggled with my faith. And during my time at Turning Point, I expressed that to some of my former colleagues. And I want your viewers to know that every single one of those conversations was met with encouragement, was met with love, never with judgment, and with the kind of strength that Erica Kirk portrayed for us all in that arena that day. And that was the kind of culture that Charlie cultivated. And I believe the kind of culture that Erica will now continue with. And I think this is all about role models when it comes down to it. Right now, the younger generation, the younger cohort of voters are struggling with good role models to look up to in this world of entertainment gone rogue. I think Erica Kirk perfectly represents the strong, classy embodiment of what every woman and mother should look like. And I'm so happy that young people and young women have her to look up to.
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, Charlie Kirk was such an amazing example to all of us, particularly young men. And Erica Kirk, she is amazing and such a great role model to all of us. Joe Rogan has weighed in on some of the commentary surrounding Charlie Kirk's assassination, and he's blasted the sick lefties who have been out celebrating his murder. Let's listen to this.
Well, the Charlie Kirk thing opened up my eyes.
Yeah.
I never expected so many people would celebrate that man's murder. The fact that people were cheering when he died, normal people, housewives, moms, like fucking people working at banks, people working at various industries, celebrating a man getting shot in front of his kids, in the front of the whole world.
That's
like,
evil.
What the is wrong with us?
Caitlin, I wasn't as surprised as Joe Rogan was. I mean, I've seen so many examples from people part of the far extreme, far left who celebrate murder. We saw it with the Luigi Mangione case. We saw it with celebrations of people burning down Teslas in protest against Elon Musk, people being upset that Donald Trump wasn't assassinated in Butler, Pennsylvania. So it didn't surprise me seeing this kind of disgusting reaction. I guess it still hurts, though, when you see people like Erica Kirk, everything she stands for, and we know what Charlie Kirk stood for, such an incredible person, such an amazing example to all of us. And you have people that celebrate death. What did you make of Joe Rogan's reaction?
Look, I'm a Joe Rogan fan. I think he's done a lot as far as having open dialogue and discussion and reminding the country that's what this is about. But I don't know why it took this tragedy for Joe Rogan to realize that this was never the party of inclusion. Yeah. This was never the party that wanted to use careful rhetoric, that was kind. Remember the summer of love? We all remember the summer of love. And being in that arena for Charlie's memorial, I'll tell you, there was not one arrest, there was not one rioter, there was not one fire, not one person trying to be violent. And we can't say the same for the other side. Now, Joe Rogan is right in the sense where this has lit fire under so many patriots in this country, especially the young people. I think the number right now that was released from Turning Point was over 120,000 inquiries for new chapters across the country. So if any of the evil forces that were celebrating out there thought that a bullet was going to stop this movement, Gabriella now needs to know that all it did was ignite over 120,000 new soldiers. And we're going to see that very soon.
Caitlin Sinclair, well said. Thank you so much for joining us. Great to speak with you.
God bless.